I'm going over to, we're dealing with that word, what we was, this is Matthew 3 and 12, whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor and gather his wheat into the gardener. But he will burn up the chaff with the unquenchable fire. Okay, the wheat, he's talking about Israel. Okay, the elect. Okay. And over here, it just shows you the parable of the sower, and it deals with, this is Matthew the 13th chapter, and it deals with the parable of the sower. And the wheat are the children of the kingdom, right? And the tares are Esau and the other nations, mainly Esau though, okay, and the other nations, okay. And it says, but he said unto thee, I started Matthew 13:26. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also, and so the servant of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst thou not sow good seed in thy field? From whence then had it tares? Verse 28. He said unto them, an enemy had done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? Question. Verse 29. But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. The wheat is the children of the kingdom. Okay? The elect. Verse 30. Let both grow together until the harvest, which is the end of the world, and in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. So that's the kingdom, man. Okay, that's the kingdom. Okay, and that's with YAHAWASHI. And then it says, verse 38, the field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tears are the children of the wicked. Verse 39, the enemy that sown them is the devil, and the harvest is the end of the world, and the reaper are the angels. Verse 40, as therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. So that's the hellish condition that's going to be on the earth. Okay? This Matthew 3 and 12, whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor and gather his wheat together the gardener into the gardener, but he will burn up the chaff with an unquenchable fire. So that's a condition. Okay? That's a condition that's played out on earth. All right, what else you got? Yeah, 2/3 of our people are not going to be bought back on this side. They're going to be bought back in the kingdom, so they're going to have to die in their sins for being idol worshipers and provoking the Most High to jealousy and anger. Okay? What you say?
Mark 9 and 44.
Mark 9. Mark 9 and 44. Right? It says, Mark 9 and 44. Where the worms dieth not, and their fire is not quenched. So the worms, YAHAWASHI, you know the worms, when you die, you end up in the grave, right? I mean, it's like when you die, worms feed on your body when you're in the grave, okay? So YAHAWASHI said worms, right? That's metaphorically for worms not dying. In other words, Israel is in a dead state, and and they go end up in the hellacious condition. That's what YAHAWASHI is saying, okay? This is what he's saying right here, okay? He says, if you don't cut off that body part that is offensive to the Most High and His Son, that had to cause you to try to go to worship idols or eat pork sandwiches, you know, just go off, man. Be contrary to the Most High, okay? So, the foot, hand, the two hands, you know, the hand and the eyes, that's those body parts that you have to get rid of. And we are of the body of YAHAWASHI, so that's metaphorically for a person, okay? And he's just using body parts, okay?
That is
and it
filth,
says,
filth, and filth.
And it says,
how can you put a depiction of Jesus Christ with horns on it and call yourself anything you're a Christian?
get out of here, devil.
Filthy,
You get out of here,
filthy.
devil.
It's more important to you that Jesus
You're an Edomite. You're an Edomite.
God,
See, when the word come out,
color,
Satan
not
pops
the
up.
Son of
Y'all heard
God.
Satan? I'm gonna turn it around and let y'all see Satan. There goes Satan right there.
What am
Look
I?
at Satan.
I'm a
Look at
Catholic,
Satan.
not Satan.
You're a
I'm-
Satan.
Yes. I worship in the true church. I'm
Look
not
at
some
Satan.
lunatic with robes on the side of the road.
Ah, you don't
showing
have a
depictions
clue,
of Christ
devil.
with horns on it. That's
You
sick.
don't have a clue, devil. All right, you gotta ignore it now. I didn't get all the fun out of it. You gotta ignore it now. You know, this man, Edomite boy. Hey man, she was ready that Corvette right over there. That was Edomite, man. She believed in Caesar Borgia. But that's, hey, see, that Edomite right there, right? I have a Jake believing that that's the Lord, right? That Edomite, I have a Jake believing that's the Lord, man. That's why this place got to be done away with, man. You know, these Edomites, these heathens, have tricked the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans to believe in this madness, man. Okay, but this Mark 9 and 44, where their worms dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. So that's a hellacious condition, man. Okay, so that's what Jake is gonna end up in. And to prove my point that there's a metaphor for a hellacious condition, because you know Jake will read that and he don't understand that that's a metaphor, and he don't know that YAHAWASHI is using metaphor. So he would look at that and be like, take what he been taught in the world and take that and say, oh yeah, it's a fire to where you burn forever. He would take that. But I'm finna link it up with the scriptures and show you that it's a condition. It's being in a dead state, okay? And being in a dead state, that's what you're gonna end up in, fire, okay? A hellacious condition. So this is Isaiah. Same thing over in Isaiah. Isaiah 66. And 24. I started 23. And this shall come to pass that from one new moon to another. So the new moon is the Sabbath is determined by the new moon. It's right there, it's telling you. So when you say the Sabbath is Friday to Saturday sundown all the time and it never changes, you're in a dead state. You don't know what's going on according to the scripture. Okay? The Sabbath is determined by the new moon. Sometimes it can fall on a Tuesday, okay? And if the new moon falls on a Tuesday, then you keep it Tuesday when the sun go down, and you keep it all the way to Wednesday till the sun go down. And that period in between represent the new moon, okay? And the Sabbath, okay? Whenever it falls, okay? So it can fall on different time periods, different days, man. Okay? This is Isaiah 66 and 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. Okay, that's going to be in the kingdom. Verse 24. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. So who is going to be the carcasses that transgress against the Most High? These other nations. Okay? These other nations. Payback is going to come to them for doing Israel the way they done. Okay? While they was in a hellacious condition. Okay? For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring upon all flesh. So that's the same thing that we read in Mark 9 and 44. So that's a metaphor, man, for a condition that's going to be played out on earth. So what else you got, bro?
Revelation 20 to 14.
Let's go to Revelation 20 and 14. Right? I'll let this be the last one. You know, I'll let this be the last one. You know, anybody got what time is it? Yeah. All right.
17.
All right. This Revelation, where we at?
Revelation 20 and 14.
Revelations. Revelations 20 and 14. I start up at 20, but the key is in 14. Revelations 20 and 13. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their work. So it said, death and hell deliver up the dead. So it said, death and hell deliver up the dead. That's a condition, man. How can hell deliver up the dead? How? How? If you burn it forever, how can hell deliver up the dead? It don't make sense. Okay? If you die and you burn it forever, how can death and hell deliver up the dead? It don't make sense. You hit a pork chop eating Christian or a pork eating Christian with that, they'll be in a confused state. Okay? This is Revelation 20 and 13. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. Verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Okay? So the second death is okay, is the get that sign where it says get out, don't let that come out. Yeah. This is the second death, man. This is what's gonna bring the second death, man. These missiles turning around all this stuff. This is the second death, man. You see that fire behind them? You see how they trying to escape it? That's the second death, man. Okay? That right there is the second death. Okay? The first death was the fire. Okay? And matter of fact, I'm gonna get it in Peter. Show you what the first death is. Peter's the it says this 2 Peter 3 and 6, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished. That's the first death. But the heaven and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and the perdition of the ungodly. So that's the second death. Okay, 2 Peter 3, 6, all the way to 7. Right? This is a Revelation 20 and 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. So this is a condition that's played out on earth. Okay? Verse 15. And whosoever is not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So if you don't receive, if you're not part of the covenant of YAHAWASHI, and you're not part of it, and now we're finna go into the chosen that's within the chosen. Okay, you got a chosen, which is the nation of Israel, okay? But you have a chosen that's within the nation of Israel. And if you're not written in the book of life to receive benefits and get a healthy body and get them powers to be delivered from the second death, okay? Okay, to be delivered from the second death, you are the one that's not written in the book of life, man. Okay? That died in the second death. Okay? So one more scripture, and then I'll close it out. You know, Spirit got me wanting to grab one more. You know?
Mark 9 and 48.
Mark 9, see what that is. Mark 9 and Mark 9 and 48. Yeah, where the worms dive not and the fire is not quenched. So that's a condition. I just read it in Isaiah. That goes back to Isaiah 66, 20, verse 23 and 24. So I just broke that down, what that's talking about. It's a condition that's played out on the earth. And that's what the Lord is quoting. He's quoting Isaiah 66, verse 24. But you can read 23 and verse 24, and it explains what it's talking about when it's dealing with the worm. It's a dead state, and it's a hellish condition that's played out on the earth. That's what it is, man. So, through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, you know, we like to give all praises to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, YAHAWASHI. Double honors to the elders, apostles, GMS who rule well. Salute you, brother, that's pushing this word and truth and sincerity and the strength and power of YAHAWASHI. You know what I'm saying? Death to America.
Death to America.
Death to 2/3.
Death to 2/3.
And with that, Shalom, stay strong and search the scriptures.
Shalom.